Back?
We are back.
We're back. Good.
There's
Flip
only a
coin.
technical difficulty that it's not showing. I don't have my buffer. Okay, there we
Yeah.
go.
Well,
All right,
ooh, I
I
got the
do now.
shine going on my dome. All right. Well, a couple of things. 4th of July is Tuesday. Shout out to America. God bless. Uh, I don't know. You plan on coming to the office for the?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm not gonna let you guys throw the parade and not be there for it.
Yes. So shout out
Yeah.
to Ryan, who basically is kind of helped Read and Read be a major sponsor of the, I think, the 66th annual Random
Yep.
4th of July parade. It's my understanding it's one of the oldest parades in
In
Florida,
Florida.
and it starts
Yeah.
it starts right here at our office. So that's cool. We're looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
I had a theme today of and we can I guess we could talk about it. You said you had some
Sharing is
pictures. I
caring.
can't
Go ahead.
remember what I sent, but here's the theme was simply, Jason, if you and I were to end up in prison, right? Or
Okay.
my TV audience, and by the way, Jason Crawford is the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson.
Yeah. Hello.
What do you think would be the reason we were to end up there? We're probably not going to
we.
we're probably
Oh.
not going to
Oh. Oh.
murder somebody.
I don't know, man. If
Uh,
somebody messed with my
we're
kids, that
not
would
going to
be.
rob a bank. Uh,
Yeah, no, it would.
we're
I think
not.
we've talked about this before.
Yes. What would put Jason and or Paul in prison, and your average person actually driving by my office right now?
Yeah. Yeah, accidental killing someone in a car crash and being
Well,
negligent.
yes.
That's what I would think.
Here's what all of you people out there in TV land do all the time while you're
Hmm.
driving, and no one ever admits it, but we see you and you know who you are. You text and drive.
Oh yeah.
You dial your phone and
Yeah.
drive. You look at
Yeah.
apps and drive. You
I
do
can't. I see it
all
all the
kinds
time,
of
dude.
things with this little device here and drive. Okay.
Yeah.
You all know it. I know it. So let's move on.
Okay.
Many fender benders, so to speak, occur because of this behavior. You would agree.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes significant crashes occur because of this behavior.
Yes.
Well, what are the state attorneys throughout the country, state of Florida, otherwise, doing now because of this behavior that's causing mayhem and even death?
They're cracking down on it. They're
There
putting the
was a
spotlight
gentleman,
on it.
there was a gentleman who had a family, was in his 40s, had a job, and was driving on Interstate 75 at about 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, using his phone for work. He was actually looking at an Excel spreadsheet, right?
Yeah.
So if you're looking at your phone Excel spreadsheet, what are you not looking at, Jason?
The road.
You're not looking at the traffic in front of you that's come to a
Yeah.
stop and you rear
Yeah.
end someone, and guess what?
That's it.
You've now
That's
killed the little
yeah.
child in the back seat.
Yeah.
So we've got arguably a hardworking man,
Yeah.
could be a upstanding citizen,
Sure.
got family, got house, got job.
Yep.
You and me.
Yep.
Guess where you and me
Yep.
are now?
Prison.
30 years.
Prison. Yeah. Wait,
30.
I had stuff prepped for this. I thought you said not to. I thought you were gonna switch gears on me.
Well, I want to get to the Supreme Court because that's even
Oh,
more.
okay. I had videos queued up and everything, pictures of the everything, just to
Well,
lay
I'm
it up.
sorry to step on
Okay,
your
no,
buzz.
it's
I just
okay. It's okay.
all this Supreme Court stuff
Trying
coming
to
out
Ed McMahon over here. That's
is
all.
blowing my mind. But anyway, dude,
It's wild, dude.
30 years in prison, and
Yeah.
he wasn't drinking and driving. That's an easy one. Drinking
And
and
the
driving.
judge gave him maximum.
Yep.
Maximum. He
For
said because you
texting
get to go home. You
or
get to go home to
looking
your
at your
family.
phone.
Yep. He said, yes, I understand that you have a
and
family.
people think, well, how do they know? Two
Mm-hmm.
things. One, you have an event data recorder in your car, basically a black box, just like on a plane. and it tells whether you were wearing your seatbelt, how
Mm-hmm.
fast you were going, whether you hit your brakes, whether you turned the steering wheel. So
Yeah,
that's one piece of evidence that's going to be used against you.
certainly.
And guess what?
So why didn't you hit your brakes earlier?
Who?
What? No, yeah, I'm just saying, like, why?
Oh
So
well,
why
yeah,
didn't
he
you hit your
slammed
brakes
into him and
earlier?
blew it up.
Oh
And here's
man, the
what people
crap!
don't
His
know.
car was like
Do you
in
know?
there.
Do you know you hit delete on Snapchat or it's only 8 or 10 seconds and it goes away
Oh, dude.
forever?
Yeah,
No.
no.
You
No,
can
no,
log
no.
on to your
It's on servers.
Snapchats. You can log on to your Facebook. You can log on to delete your deleted,
TikTok.
deleted.
They can see
And
the last time you edited a
all
live
I gotta
doc.
do is hire an expert. I know
100%.
what websites you went to. I know what social media you used. I know your text. I know your
Mm-hmm.
phone. All of that is in there.
Doesn't even have to be an
Reason,
expert, man.
two reasons to be concerned. One, Uncle
Mm-hmm.
Sam, and two, if you were this gentleman, the state hired a forensic expert and
Oh
they
yeah.
got all of his
Everything.
information and they knew he was looking at an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah. Yeah, because see, like, all of those things have live
30,
timestamps.
30 years. Now, mind you, people might
Mm-hmm.
think in Florida or anywhere else, well, 30 years you get out for good behavior. Well, you can think Chain Gang Charlie Chris, way back when he got tired of people doing 10% or 20%. So
Mm-hmm.
what did the Florida legislature do? Guess what you have to do now? You have to do 85%. That man will be in prison for 25 years no matter what.
For
Barred
even
the
if good behavior gets factored in or
25
whatever, right?
years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids, wife,
He's gonna be old man.
job. So here's the moral of the story where
But
I'm
you know
getting
what?
people.
As long
You
as
can
that
go to
is,
prison for using that phone while you're driving.
yeah.
If that doesn't stop you, well, then nothing will.
Yeah, and as long as that is of a timeline, like, so he's what, 40, he'll get out when he's 65, almost 70.
Kids will be long grown adults. Wife will
But
have already been on her second or third marriage after
yeah,
him.
but the child that died
I'm
will
just
never have another
kidding.
birthday.
Just kidding.
I-
There, that was not
yeah.
meant to be taken
Yeah,
literally.
but even though that seems like a hefty sentence, that child will never have another birthday. Like,
No,
that's,
no, and the other people were significantly injured.
yeah,
The sad thing
100%.
is, Jason, it just didn't have to happen. That's all.
Yeah,
It
you
was.
know, it's so
And here's
easy
what
to
I
fix
hate. I
that.
hate the term.
It's so easy to fix that, though, Paul.
It
Like,
was
it's
an
not like
accident. It's no accident.
it was negligence.
Right. This was not an accident.
Yeah.
If he had not been on his phone, the little girl would be getting ready to join us for the Brandon 4th of July parade. Honestly, I don't know where they're from.
There's a boy.
But either way, it's not an
Yeah.
accident. Accidents don't happen. They
All
don't.
right. No,
All right, let's
yeah.
move on. Let's move on to
All
this
right, fine.
breaking
Very
story.
somber moment. Okay.
And here's the thing. Do you know what the politicians and the people with money really are concerned about when electing a president?
What the politician's main concern is? Is that what you're asking me?
The number one concern of people with money and politicians.
Taxes.
Nope.
Oh,
This is a Wheel of Fortune. Strike one.
okay. All right.
Nope.
My bad.
What's
I
that?
didn't form it in the phrase of a question.
Nope.
I
Don't
got
have to. Taxes. No.
Okay.
What? Why do we want to elect a Democrat president, or why do we want to elect a Republican president? Taxes. No. That's an issue,
Okay.
but that's not the main reason.
Spending, government spending.
2 X's. You get one more shot.
Man. I mean, I can think of a bunch of
You get the
reasons. I know they're all going to
you
be
get the
wrong.
buzzer on Family Feud after a couple of seconds.
Okay, well, all right. Then I'll say, geez. I don't know. Loser, baby.
Appointing Supreme Court justice.
Oh, okay. Yes.
That is the number
I
one
got you.
reason that the people with power want to elect a certain individual,
Right.
especially when a Supreme
Right.
Court justice is on the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah.
out.
You're
It's
right. You're absolutely
440.
right.
Because let
I
me
would
tell
agree.
you why. We all know what happened last year with Roe versus Wade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you had 40 years of case law that said women have certain fundamental rights,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Federally,
President
yes.
Trump comes in and puts, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, three conservatives on the bench. So
Okay.
it's 6-3. Poof! All you people got it wrong. They got rid of that, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
now we've got a 6-3, meaning six more conservative leaning individuals and three. Well, it's actually five because Roberts is kind of in the middle. The chief
Mm-hmm.
judge, he can go either way. So it's really not 6-3. It's kind of like a 5-3-1. Either
Okay.
way, there's still a majority of the conservative bench appointed by
Right.
Republican presidents. So what did they do? And this one is hot off the presses. We're going to work in, we're going to do Quentin Tarantino. We're going to jump around here.
Yeah. Oh
What?
no.
So,
Plot twist.
you know the issue with student loan forgiveness that's been
Okay.
working its way through the system
Yep.
for several months now, right? Where
Yep.
President Biden wants to forgive up to $20,000 to students' loans, right?
Okay.
Supreme Court ruled today.
Okay.
Can Biden, and I say Biden, I know it's, can it, they do it? Or did the Supreme Court says, no, you can't do it?
I'm gonna say they said no.
Yes, they said no. They
Yeah.
struck down the debt forgiveness program.
Dang it! No, I'm kidding.
Well, regardless, it says the
keep
plan would have
dribbling
wiped
money
out
into the
45% of borrowers' money. I'm not going to get into right, wrong, or otherwise. I'm moving on because I have my own personal thoughts on that.
Okay. I do
Uh,
too. You want to talk about them?
Well, I paid off my loans. I paid off my kids' loans. My blah blah
Jeez.
blah.
Are you taking are you taking
But I'm not
other
going to talk
people?
about it.
Yeah,
moving on.
yours are done. You took care of them. They're done.
Number two
Yeah.
that came out, I believe, a
Yeah.
couple of days ago. Now, this was interesting.
Okay.
An individual filed suit against Harvard, and then somehow UNC, University of North Carolina, another suit. So they combined them because it was the same issue, which is not unusual. And the issue was, can these colleges use affirmative action in their decision as to who they're going to let into the college? That was the question, and for years and years and years, the answer was yes. So they used, race basically as an admission, applicants. I don't want to say qualification, but that's
At least a filtering tool, right?
exactly.
Just sort. Yeah. Okay.
So the Supreme Court came out either yesterday or the day before and said, Harvard, North Carolina, you can't do that. You cannot use race as a tool to decide which students get to attend your university. Now, of course, it was interesting, and Jason, you should read this. Justice Thomas, who's black, wrote a concurring opinion, and Justice, I forget her name, Katani Brown, who that's her name, she's also black, she wrote a dissent ripping Thomas.
Interesting.
Thomas wrote his concurrence ripping her. So
that's
you
interesting.
should honestly, if you want to hear
I think I will. I'm gonna have to go.
some diametrically opposed thoughts on the matter, both
Yeah.
from black individuals.
Right.
There you go.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, it was vitriol, venomous.
Ooh.
They didn't like.
So it wasn't just like
they didn't like what each other had to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. I'll have to
And
check
then
that out.
this one, I think this one came.
So these
down
are all Supreme Court come down
the
just
last
hot
week.
down the pipeline.
Well, and they have a bunch of other cases.
Okay.
One of them is Florida's water rights with Georgia and Alabama. There's stuff that just doesn't make the news, but
Yeah,
there's
that's
plenty
gonna
of them. These though were big. So there was evidently there's a web designer, I want to say in Colorado, and he was a evangelical Christian graphic artist web designer.
Okay.
must have been pretty good.
I didn't know that was a cross section in my field. That's
Well,
really
evidently, but here's the deal.
yeah.
I guess, and I'm just going to read it, an LGBTQ, couple. I believe it was
Okay.
a gay couple,
Okay.
if I'm
Is this
not
the cake
mistaken.
thing again? Yeah.
Came to him and says, "We want you to design our website."
Okay.
And he said, "No." He goes, "It's against my religious beliefs."
Okay.
Well, they sued him. Well, they did, and
Why?
his argument is, I have a First Amendment, right to not design for people that
Okay.
go against my religion. That's the gist of it.
Sure.
So, did he win or did he lose?
I think he won.
He did win.
Yeah. Okay.
It was Well. Here's the deal. Remember now, get this. Remember how I said it's 6-3?
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
It was 6-3, and Roberts evidently sided with the other five conservatives. So
Okay.
it looks like Roberts kind of leaning more left, or I mean more I say left, more right because
Right.
he's on the
Yeah.
left side, more to the conservatives part than he is the liberals. Now, I'll go ahead, there's dissents, and if you want to read that, go ahead.
Yeah.
But either way, they ruled that he has a First Amendment right.
Okay. Interesting.
There's one more I forgot about, and
How is that even an argument? Like, why would you want? I'm just
well,
curious. Why would you want to force your money down the throat of someone who
well,
doesn't want
that's
to
a
do
whole
the
different
work?
issue. I don't know the answer, but
Yeah, I don't know the details of whatever the case
remember
was
there was
either.
another
So
one on this
if he
issue,
took their money
and
and
it
they didn't
was
want to go with it, that's fine.
somebody wanted him to make a cake.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't
Oh
want
yeah,
to.
that was a
I
while
don't
back.
want to go to restaurants nowadays because the people that are making your crap spit on it or
Right. Yeah.
rub crap. I'm not going to
No.
want someone who
I want
doesn't.
no dissenting opinions in the kitchen.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't want someone who doesn't like me handling my
Yeah.
food.
No. You have
Just
no
that
idea what's
simple.
gonna be in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
anyway,
thank you. No,
uh,
no, thank you.
and I just drew a blank. You killed me because there was another one I just forgot.
Sorry. Okay. My bad.
Ah, there was
Yeah.
the web designer, there was the affirmative action, there was the college. Oh, so a United States post office, a postman.
Okay.
Evidently, the post office now is delivering packages for Amazon on
Amazon.
Sundays.
Okay.
I was not aware of that, but I have seen the post office out Sundays thinking, what the heck's going on? You guys don't
Yeah.
work on Sundays. But either way,
Yeah.
he said that goes against my religious freedoms because the Sunday is Sabbath and I don't work.
Okay.
Made it up to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Now you got the federal government saying you got to work. What did
Okay.
the Supreme Court say? Does the man have to work on Sundays, or does the federal government have to find a new postal worker to fill his shoes on Sunday?
I believe they have to find a new postal worker.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now,
Interesting.
yeah, now that's going to get tricky, just in
Yeah.
the sense that you know there's a lot of different religions out there.
Yep.
Not all of them are based on Christianity, of course.
Correct.
What individual that you employ is going to say, I can't work on a Monday or Tuesday, I can't work at 5 o'clock, I can't. I mean, where
Sure.
does it stop? I don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer either, but as long
Yeah.
as you're not required to also pay them while they're
No,
off,
you don't
then
gotta
you can
pay
pay
them.
someone else who will work.
Yeah,
So like
again, I
know,
get what they're saying. It is
I
the
get that it's
Sabbath.
hard to find the fill in and to account, like
Yeah,
especially if you're caught off guard. But
yeah.
if you've onboarded these people and you know these things, like you should know.
Well, either way, so those are like four biggies,
Yeah.
and I can tell you, like anything, half the country's happy that they ruled this way, and the other half is not, or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I feel like some of these shouldn't even really be made it that
Well,
far.
I understand that,
But
but you got to understand, and without taking sides
yeah.
on the abortion issue, right?
Well, you picked
Whatever
that
side
one.
you start, well, just half the people agreed strongly,
Yeah.
and half of the
Sure.
people did not strongly agree. So I'm
Right.
assuming I got this way back to the affirmative action. read the concurring opinion and the dissenting opinion, because there are a large group of individuals that agree with Clarence Thomas's position.
Mm-hmm.
There are a large group of people that agree with the Judge Brown's opinion, Supreme Court Judge Brown.
Can I rant for a minute? I won't go crazy.
Okay.
I have a question though.
Yeah,
I was having a conversation with a person. I won't name who they were. We were discussing this issue, and they were telling me that
which issue? We just talked about
the abortion issue.
Okay.
How they kicked it back to the states, and how
Right.
Florida has banned it. And they were citing all of these things.
Well,
like,
gotta be honest, they didn't ban it. They limited it to 6 weeks.
Well, let's let you finish.
No,
so,
but you can't throw out misinformation.
But that was
6
kind of my
weeks.
point, which was they were saying that these doctors that they're talking to have been told all of these different things, and I was like, that's so wild, because when I read the Florida statutes, and I don't think it takes like rocket science brain to do it, it literally states the opposite of what you're telling me. So, like where there's a level of disconnect between what people are being told to say and think and believe, and what the law actually says.
Well,
there's a lot of
that's the problem with the internet.
junk bouncing around.
Well, that's just the problem with the internet.
But our Florida statutes are right there. You can go read them for yourself. You can know what the law is. You don't have to accidentally break it or not know, or I'm afraid they're going to take away that. Like, they literally spell out what it says.
Jason, that would be too easy. That would just be too easy to actually go and know the truth.
Got time for that.
Wait, to go and know the truth. It'd be too easy.
Then
Oh, don't know what to tell you. Yeah,
I don't know what to say.
That would just be
I'm off
too
my
easy.
soapbox, though. That's it.
Here's
if you're gonna have a conversation, and especially if you're gonna argue about this stuff,
finally, we're gonna leave on this thought.
Go read it.
What happens in Florida as it relates to guns tonight at 12:01?
Oh, it is. Wait, is it tonight? There's 30 days in June. Yes.
What happens?
I will say that I've heard a lot of people misstate this, so I will try to say it correctly. Concealed carry, permitless concealed carry becomes legal.
I'm gonna have to drop the D word. That's damn scary.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna call me a dummy. I was like, no,
you do not have to take a class, a little 4-hour. Make sure you know what you do in class.
Yeah, you're not required to.
You don't have to take the concealed weapons permit class. I'd have to look to see. They even I think you still in Florida have to pass a background check, which is good.
You do, yeah. So you can buy the firearm, so yeah.
Dude, there are a lot of places.
And there's a 5-day waiting period.
Yeah, well, good. There are a lot of places you can't take your concealed weapon, and
That's
without
correct.
the class or without going online
people don't
doing
know
a
that.
little self-study,
Yep, it's gonna be really
you're not
interesting.
going to know where those places are.
It's gonna be real interesting.
Right.
People better read those laws.
I mean, just do yourself a favor. Don't take your gun into a bar,
No,
and also
nowhere where there's alcohol.
And also schools and airports.
Don't go within 1,000 feet of school. Do not go into an airport with a firearm.
Yeah, do a little research. All right, Jason.
Yes, you should read the laws.
125.
You know what? Something that doesn't need research? The Brandon Parade. Yes.
July
Yes.
4th, Tuesday, starts at 10 o'clock right here at the corner of Lumsden and Parsons. So be there.
Yes.
It's going to be hot. So what? It's Florida. Get over it. Let's see. Oh, how about this? Shout out to my brother, third base coach for the Miami Marlins.
True.
They have that team rolling, baby.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rays continue to kill it. God bless them. And so, again, I'm not a but for Joe. I don't really care about the Miami Marlins, but given the fact that he's my brother and he's the third base coach, I would like them to play the Rays in the World Series.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the Marlins, someone who used to play for the Marlins has joined our team at CCS Marketing. I can't name them because I don't know if he wants to be named or not. But
that's good. All right.
That's interesting.
All right. That's all we got, Jason.
That's
Get us
it?
out of here.
All right. Well, my soundboard's not working,
Okay, well, whatever.
so I'll
I will,
beatbox this out.
I will see you Tuesday.
You got it.